is an incredible book. Thank you, Jessica, for that. It is an incredible book that I recommend that everybody read. But today I'm gonna do a training on this, and we're gonna apply it to our particular business. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here so we could get the. So first and foremost, guys, remember the convention is coming up. Convention is coming up. If you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to catch the vision and have that long-term vision, which, by the way, that's one of the keys to success. One of the major keys to success of most top builders in any company. They catch the vision of where the company is going. If you really knew where the company was going and the kind of success stories the company's going to create because of taking this business seriously, the level of conviction, the level of action that you're going to take is going to be different. Trust me when I tell you, it's kind of like you're converting to power running through your veins, right? You don't want to miss a convention. You can still get tickets. I recommend make the investment, the time and money investment, but make it to this event. And if you're a team builder, how many people from your team, how many frontline people from your team can you get there? Remember, Mentor Factory 2023 and 2022 is available. MentorFactory2023.com. You can get the recording. That recording is going to be up later this week. It's already done. They're just finishing up some kinks. Mentor Factory 2022 is also available at mentorfactory.net. For those of you guys that bought the Top Mentor Academy, 5 additional videos are getting uploaded this week. And then in a couple of weeks, there's going to be about another 10 coming up. So anyways, with that being said, let's get started. So habit number 1 is to be proactive, right? You want to focus and act on what you can control and influence instead of what you can't. You know, very often I've got people that come to me and they say, JC, you know, I got this person that quit, or JC, you know, I got this project manager that is hard to deal with, or I've got this deal that the client is having second thoughts. And I'm like, you've already told me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. I can't do this. I can't deal with this guy. I can't do this, right? Okay, great. What can you do? So many times we make the habit, right, of complaining, of focusing on the negative. Hey, let's focus. What is a solution? You're giving me all the obstacles. What is a solution? So let's be proactive, control and influence, right, over what you can control versus what you can't. So proactive people recognize that they are responsible, okay? They are responsible, and they don't blame circumstances, conditions, conditioning for their behavior. They know they can choose their behavior. Reactive people, got a little mosquito here. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment, right? So success is something that you attract by the person that you become. We talked about this at Mentor Factory. One of the things I trained on in Mentor Factory, I was training on, look, you don't have to, but you get to. You don't have to deal with cancellations. You don't have to deal with change orders. You don't have to deal with, you know, people that don't listen, with you know, certain project managers. You don't have to. You get to. You get to. Because when you want to become this level of leader, here's what happens. You become this level of leader because the person that you become, and I guarantee you that the person that it takes to become successful, very often you'll hear me say this. If you could achieve the things that you wanted to achieve, being the person that you are, you would have already had them. If we don't have them, it's because we are not that person. And I guarantee you that when it comes to problem solving, highly productive people, okay, act and think different than people that are not proactive, right? So let's go to the second one. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. Define clear measures of success and a plan to achieve them, okay? This is the ability to envision in your mind. Thank you very much. Let me connect my earpiece here, see, because there's a little bit of background noise, and I think this is going to cut it off a little bit. I want you guys to give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Yes? Okay, great. Okay. So here's the deal. The ability to envision in your mind what you cannot presently see with your eyes is based on the principle that all things are created twice. And I talk about this very often. Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then in the physical, right? The physical creation follows the mental. Okay, just as building follows a blueprint. So begin with the end in mind. For example, how many of you guys on the chat, I want you guys to let me know, have a goal to become a mentor builder? And if you don't know what a mentor builder is, I'm gonna let you know what a mentor builder is. Here's what a mentor builder is. Somebody who is consistently closing 3 deals per month and recruiting 3 consultants and or ambassadors per month. That is a mentor builder, not just a mentor, but a mentor builder. I'll give you an example. What the company paid me last Friday cost more than what it cost me to be here for a week and a half with my family in a 5-star resort on the beach, right? That didn't come because I'm a great mentor. That came because I'm a great builder. The freedom comes through building. Sales is great. You can make some great money. You can make $500,000. You can make $1 million in this business just selling solar. But if you get sick and you cannot sell, the income dries up. So let's say, for example, if you're a mentor builder, consistently 3 sales that you close, whether they're personal sales or they are mentor sales, but you're doing 3 sales a month and 3 recruits per month. Now imagine this. Imagine you have a 5-year vision. You begin with the end in mind, and you have a 5-year vision. I will have 1,000 active consultants, which is not a lot, by the way. 1,000 active is a key word, consultants 5 years from now. And I'm going to do it by consistently being a mentor builder every month. See, how many people even have in their mind to be a mentor builder? See, if you don't know where you're going, ladies and gentlemen, any road will take you there. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So you want to make sure that you start with the end in mind, okay? If you don't make a conscious effort to visualize who you are and what you want in life, then you empower other people and circumstances to shape you and your life by default. I don't want a life by default. I want a life by design. I want a life by design. I don't know about you, but I want a life by design. And we've got the business, we've got the timing, we've got the technology, we've got everything that we need to achieve those things if we want. But you got to begin with the end in mind. So what is it? If you're not a mentor yet, great. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a mentor within this company on or before this date. By when are you going to be a mentor? Do you even have that written down? Do you even have your goals written down? Is it entering your subconscious mind? And are you getting excited about this ahead of time? Are you getting it? You got to get excited about this ahead of time. Then here's what happens when you combine the emotions, okay? The emotions with the thoughts, and you combine the emotions as if it already happened. Then you couple the action behind it. You will start to manifest those things that you set out to do. Those things, you'll start to realize, oh my God, these people starting to come my way. I'm going to close 10 deals this month. Let's say you normally close 5 deals a month on average. And you say, I'm going to close 10 deals a month, and you are excited about it. You're taking the actions. You're feeling the emotions about it. You start to realize more people start calling you. People that you presented to before that didn't move forward start to move forward. And you start to realize, wait a minute. But you got to have faith in the beginning to believe that this is possible, right? So I'm not going to get into that much, but we're going to go to number 3. Put first things first. Prioritize and achieve your most important goals instead of constantly reacting to urgencies. First things first. So prioritize and achieve the most important goals. I am old school. I work with a to-do list. I carry that to-do list. I have it in my computer bag. Okay. I even have another one in my office when I'm in my office in case for some reason I don't have this one, but I work with a to-do list. And I have a glass board in my office as well. And in there, I've got my to-do list. Then I got the urgent to-dos. These are stuff that I want to attack before 12 o'clock that day. Before 12 o'clock that day, I want to attack those things. Because if I get the hardest things, for example, I got a client right now who we're in the process of installing, and they didn't want us to finish installing. Actually, no, it's not the client didn't want us. The roof was not in good shape. After they opened up, it was concrete tile. Turns out they need a new roof. Well, the roofer went out there to cover it up for the rains, but his house is still leaking. Well, it's 7 a.m. here in Hawaii, right? It's 7 a.m. here. But I want to knock this out before before 12 o'clock, right? Because this is a conversation that I don't really want to have. But guess what? How I feel about a certain situation has nothing to do with what I'm going to do. That is one of the keys. That's why I created the Top Mentor Academy. Okay, for those of you guys that are in the Top Mentor Academy, you know what I'm talking about. The first thing I train on is a bulletproof mindset in the Top Mentor Academy, because you don't become a top mentor without a bulletproof mindset, right? So you want to prioritize these things first. So first things are those things that you find the most worth, right? If you put first things first, you are organizing and managing time and events according to the personal priorities you established in habit number 2. So put first things first, attack those things that are hard to do, those things that normally you procrastinate with. Start to tell yourself, I am an action taker. Don't think of being a procrastinator. Start to identify yourself and create in your identity that you are that person that you want to become. I am a person that handles problems fast and efficiently. I tackle the first things. I finish the most important things by 12 o'clock in the day. Now, for those of you guys at work, that may not apply because you're working during the day. I get it. But prioritize it according to whatever your schedule is. Let's go. Habit number 4. Look, we got my family here going downstairs to have breakfast. See? That's what this is about. Let's get it going. Okay. Habit number 4. You want to think win-win. Collaborate more effectively by building high trust relationships. So think about a win-win that applies to your team building, that applies to your customers. I let the customers know, hey, listen, we've got a win-win-win here. You win as a customer, we win as a consultant in the company, and then the environment wins as well. And that is one of the things that got me excited about this business, because very often, most business, I think it's maybe a win-win, but sometimes, most of the time, I would say it's not even a win-win. It's just one party wins a lot more than the other. It's very rare when you got a triple win, which is what we've got here. Anytime I sit down with a customer, I'm thinking about a win-win. Anytime I recruit a consultant, I'm thinking about a win-win. How can I bring value to you? Okay, great. So what did I do? I went out there and created a training academy. I started the first and only weekly training in the entire company. There was no weekly trainings to plug into. I said, well, doggone it, I'm going to go ahead and create it. I'm going to learn the stuff that I needed on the solar side and teach it. And I'm going to train what I know about sales and recruiting and personal development as well. And I'm going to bring people on to train on this. Does that make sense? I created a system that works for me and works for a lot of my team on the onboarding process and all these other things, because I know that when it comes to team building, for example, and team and win-win, I need to create an environment where I become as valuable as possible as a sponsor and a leader to attract more people into my business, because people in your business are the lifeblood of your business. New people. When people ask me, JC, do you spend, I get this question asked very often. JC, do you invest money in leads? Do you buy leads? I say, homeowner leads, absolutely not. In my opinion, that is not the best use of my money, because I could get a homeowner lead and maybe I'll sell them. Maybe I'll get some referrals from them. But if I recruit a consultant that's got to do 3 50-50 split sales and I train them how to be effective in bringing their warm market to me, and they're going to duplicate. I've had people come in that gave me 10 mentor sales. And then they build a team of 15 people before they were even a mentor. And I'm mentoring 15 people's leads. That's why I closed 118 deals last year, mentor deals via Zoom last year. Because I invest in that. But guess what? I got to think win-win. I've got to give them an opportunity and a training and a system for it to be worth it for them. Number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is so key. This works in every kind of relationship that you've got. And it's so key. Seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? Another way of putting it is, you know, they say that we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to use accordingly, right? To listen more, to really understand. One of the things that I'll speak for myself. One of the things that I used to have a problem with, and I still do, but it's gotten a lot better, is I used to engage in a conversation and not really try to understand the other person, especially if I disagreed with them, right? And this could apply to anything in your, any part of your life. So influence others by developing a deep understanding for their needs and perspectives. And that is great advice to take with your team and with your customers. Sometimes I got a customer that says, no, listen, I only want this many panels. I'll give you an example. Just an example I'm thinking off the top of my head. I only want 10 panels on my roof, and you know that they need 16. Well, Mr. Customer, you need 16. Or instead, okay, fair enough, Mr. Customer, I was under the impression that you needed 16, but is there a reason why you want 10 or why you believe that you need 10? Yes, because my kids are moving out and we're not going to use so much electricity. And they're the ones that mainly use it. So we're not going to, okay, got it. So seek first to understand, then to be understood, right? One of the things that this helps me out a lot with customers is, as a salesperson, I've got to be asking the questions. A person asking the questions is controlling the conversation. Even if I'm on a door, I haven't door knocked in years, but even if I'm on a door knocking, very often, if you get somebody that claims to not be interested, but you ask questions, you'll start to find out that they actually are interested, but they're just putting out a facade, right? So somebody says, oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I just saw a video by Danny Pesci. He knocks on the guy's door, and the guy says, oh, no, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? He says, oh, no. You haven't heard? You haven't heard what's going on? The guy's like, what? What's going on? And then he starts talking about solar. The guy thought that he was there selling something else. So when he mentioned that this guy was offering solar, he got his attention, and then Danny kept asking questions, and eventually they engaged in a good conversation, right? One of the things that I do very often with customers is I ask, in a homeowner presentation, I ask a whole bunch of questions. And I try to answer their questions along the way, but very often they're going to have some, as I mentioned, some objections. And a lot of times those objections is just knee-jerk reactions, right? So if you understand them and you dig and you peel the onion, you'll start to understand where they're at, and you can better solve their problem. Because at the end of the day, as sales professionals, that's what we are. We are problem solvers. Let's go to habit number 6. Highly effective people also focus on synergize, right? On synergy. Develop innovative solutions that leverage differences and satisfy all key stakeholders. So let's talk about synergy. On this particular training, Jonathan Brunel's training on tomorrow, right? Even the Powur Hour on Monday evenings, don't they bring different leaders to come and train? Yes, next Monday, there's likely going to be a different trainer on this particular training. So we synergize. Even if we're not on the same team, we still work with each other as if we are on the same team. So you want to create that synergy. For example, I'm out here in Hawaii, right, in the Big Island. And by the way, we brought a big old, suitcase full of stuff to donate, right? We went and we actually delivered it to the first Christian church here in Hawaii. It was founded in 1820. So we were there yesterday. It was pretty cool. Met the pastor and everything. So here's my point. Okay. Yesterday, I get a message from somebody that messaged me on Instagram that we know since we were kids. But I'm out here doing things. Turns out that that's a guy that my brother Lewis and I know since we were kids. Matter of fact, Lewis was more friends with them than I was. So it turns out that the guy wants solar. He already got an 11 kilowatt proposal with a Franklin battery. He said, but I want you guys to show me. I know you guys for a long time, and I see that you guys are promoting the business. I know you guys are doing good. So I want to see if you could give me, a good deal. So I went out there because I'm over here busy. I said, hey, Lewis, I already entered this lead. I'm going to tag you on this lead. Let's tag team and close this deal together. We'll be able to close this deal for sure. Absolutely. That's a form of collaboration. When Anthony was talking about earlier here, right, synergy, about this team, and they're onboarding a whole bunch of people in Florida, guess what? He's talking to some of the mentors like Jonathan Espinal and Ramsey Clark out in Florida, right? And we're always synergizing people. I got very often mentors that tell me, oh, yeah, I closed that deal for that lead that you gave me. That is a synergy that we create. We are a team. So therefore, here's another thing about synergy for those of you guys in our Telegram group. How many of you guys are actually going in that Telegram group and recognizing people, checking it once a day, seeing if you could help somebody, seeing if you could even put a like, seeing if you could answer somebody's question, or sharing a win? I collected a bill. I closed this deal. I recruited a new consultant or an ambassador. That is a part of synergy. And here's the thing. Every time I talk about that on these trainings, the synergy goes up. But then after a while, it simmers down a little bit. Then we got to talk about it again. Ladies and gentlemen, it isn't up to me to be the only one that creates synergy or your leaders to create synergy. You got to be a part of it. I want you guys to put in the chat here. How many of you guys here plan on being leaders in the future? How many of you guys here plan on being leaders in the future or are considered yourself leaders now? So either you consider yourself a leader now or you plan on being a leader in the future. Okay, great. Anthony, absolutely. Already one of the best leaders in the company. Already am a leader. Absolutely, Zach. Okay, I am a leader. Great. So here's the deal. Leaders lead. Leaders lead. We created a Telegram group for support, right? Not everybody's on social media. So we have Facebook groups and we have the Telegram group. Because Telegram, the reason why I picked Telegram is better than WhatsApp because you could put more people in a group, number one. Number two, not everybody has nor wants to have a social media. So we want to create an environment where people can come in here and ask questions. Okay, great. Well, if they ask questions, I can't answer every question and I can't see every question. But I try to go on there once or twice a day to go and answer. And I'll even go back and answer questions and like people's comments so they see interaction. Here's what I'm asking of you. If I may ask of you, can I get a commitment that you guys are gonna at least check it once a day, like something, just interact a little bit more and create that synergy that is required to build a highly effective team. How many of you guys can commit to that? Please put in the chat if you can commit to that. Then you're just gonna check it more often. I appreciate that, Michael. Check it more often and go out there and do that. So I appreciate that. See, you've got to ask for what you want. But see, I cannot ask this. I cannot ask for you guys to give me something if I don't give you something. So I try every single week, multiple times a week to bring value, right? We've got a lot of leaders here. Like Zachary Bach has a daily accountability group. I think it's at 5 a.m. He's always bringing value. He puts it in the chat that I'm talking about, right? And people recognize him as a leader. Do you want to get recognized as a leader? Well, guess what? If we want to get recognized as a leader and become a leader, we've got to act like that leader right now before we become that leader. It isn't like, here's how it works. It works like this: be, do, have. So those of you guys going through the Top Mentor Academy, you guys have seen my training there on be, do, have, right? Most people want it backwards. They want to have, then do, then be. Here's what that means. Be, do, have. First, you got to become the person. I want to be a leader. How does a leader act? They act like this. Become that. Do what that leader does. You got to embody the leader. If you become that person now, before you are that person, you want to be a millionaire? Okay. At what time would a millionaire wake up? How many phone calls would a millionaire make? Be that person right now. If you actually become that person, and by the way, it doesn't take time. Change doesn't take time. That is a myth. That is a myth. That is garbage. Time takes a decision. Not time. Change, excuse me, takes a decision, not time. So a lot of people, they have a mental block. Oh, yeah, I'm working towards it. I'm going to become. It's because change takes time. That is a myth. So be that person. If you actually become that person, which is the be, you will do the things that person does, and only then will you have the things that person has. The income, the time freedom, the team, the recognition as a leader. Only then will you have that, because it's be, do, have. Most people want to have. They say, well, you know what, JC, if I had the team, the income that you have, I would do the stuff you do, and I would be motivated. Well, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. The way it works is that the price has to be paid upfront and in full. Upfront and in full, right? So let's keep it moving to the last one. Number 7, habit number 7, sharpen their saw. Highly effective people are constantly working on themselves. They're constantly sharpening their saw. Increase motivation, energy, work and life balance, making time for renewing activities. So sharpen your saw. You guys are sharpening your saw right now. Training is something you do, not something you did. They're constantly sharpening their saw. So what is it that you're watching? After work, are you getting home? Are you turning on CNN, constant negative news, right? Or are you listening to a podcast of successful people? Or are you listening to a training that you missed? Are you constantly sharpening your saw? Are you constantly getting better? Is that because, remember, this is the 7 habits. So sharpening your saw, just like in all these other ones, ought to be a habit that means that you do it automatically. The way that we reach for our phones a little too early in the morning, some of us, right? I try to go the first hour of the day not touching my phone, right? Today, I didn't really have that choice. I had to wake up at 6 and start working on this training and getting things going, right? But are you constantly sharpening your saw? Now, I will say something about this that's very important, and I think I touched on this last week. Do not fall into the personal development trap. I've spoken to some of you. You've told me, yeah, it's because I got on the Monday training, I got on the Tuesday training, I got on the Wednesday training, I got on the Friday training, and I got on this. And I'm like, well, what days were you out prospecting? Okay, you do not fall into the personal development trap. Yes, do your personal development, allocate a certain amount of time, but the majority of your time should be spent in building your business, finding prospects, collecting bills, piquing people's interest to check out the business, working on getting to mentor, tagging a lead to a mentor, closing deals, taking mentor appointments, etc. That is what the majority of your time should be. But do not fall under the personal development trap. I connect to 2 trainings a week. 2 trainings a week. When I'm driving, I'm not listening to music most of the time. I do listen to music, but most of the time I'm not. You know what I'm listening to? I'm listening to a podcast of other successful people, whether it's on mindset, whether it's on sales, whether it's on solar, but I'm sharpening myself because I have said this for a long time, even before it was true. Before it was true, I was telling my subconscious mind, I am a winner. I am a champion. I am a millionaire. I am the man. I am a stud. I was saying that to my subconscious mind because here's the deal. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. Your subconscious mind believes whatever it is that you tell it. Okay, your subconscious mind believes whatever it is that you tell it. Whether it's truth or fiction, it will believe whatever you tell it. The problem is that most people are feeding their subconscious mind negative things. Oh, I don't have the experience. I'm not good enough. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too inexperienced. Whatever the case may be, guess what? Your subconscious mind believes it. Whether it's truth or fiction, it'll believe it. And most people's self-talk is negative, by the way. This is proven. It's scientifically proven that most people's self-talk throughout the day is negative. So you've got to, and a lot of you guys have heard me say this before, but here's the thing though. You got to learn, unlearn, and relearn. You got to write that down. You've got to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Just because you've heard me or somebody else say this before doesn't mean that you got it. See, one thing you'll hear very often unsuccessful people say, they'll use these words, 2 words. Here are the 2 words. I know. Yeah, I know. Then they'll add a 3rd one. Yeah, I know, but. Yeah, I know, but. Hey, you should have been at training, man. How come you weren't at training? You're supposed to be at training. Yeah, I know, but I got busy. Yeah, I know, but I had to run an errand. Yeah, I know. Listen, knowing and not doing is worse than not knowing. If somebody doesn't do something because they don't know, at least they didn't know to get on the train. They didn't even realize that there was a training going on at 10 a.m. But knowing that there is and not doing is worse than not knowing. This is where the personal development comes in. That's why, even though you may have heard me talk about this, about the subconscious mind, and about a lot of these things, that doesn't mean that you know it. So sometimes people say this, look, here's what mediocre minds say. Oh, I'm not going to get on training on that subject. I already been on that training on that subject. Well, you need to get on training to the subject until you really know the subject, you're applying the subject, and you can easily go and teach the subject. Does that make sense, guys? Is it making sense to anybody? So you've got to continue to get on there, right? Just, oh, I've been on that training 3 times. Well, do you know it? Are you applying it in your life? Because it's going to take a long time for most people for it to enter the mind, for them to actually start to reap the benefits from that particular training. So that's why you want to make sure that you plug into those trainings. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to be on here. Here's another thing that I want to remind everybody of right now. The convention is coming up. I want you guys to type in the chat who's going to the convention, please. Type in the chat who's going to the convention. I want you to write me. And look, check this out. I'm gonna make a lot of you guys uncomfortable right now. Here's why. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. 6 of us out of 48 have their cameras on. Now, I know that there's a very small percentage of people that cannot turn. Now we got 7. Good. There's a very small percentage of people that cannot turn their camera on. But look at how lazy we've become. And I'm going to shoot you straight. Getting on these trainings back in the days when I started network marketing direct sales when I was 18 years old in 2001. There was no such thing as Zoom. We had to physically be in a location. We've become so damn soft that from the damn comfort of our home, we can't even turn on a camera, dude. And we claim that we want to be successful. How can you be successful when such a small win, like turn on my camera to show the speaker and the trainer respect, to show that I'm not multitasking. Not only do they not turn their camera on, but they're multitasking. Now, if you were live and in person, that's why you should go to the convention, because you're live and in person. It's a lot harder to have outside distractions. But that's the thing, though. You got to become, like, are you the person that they say, oh, so-and-so said they're going to do this. Consider it done. Now, Kimberly's at work. Fair enough, Kimberly. I get it. I'm not trying to get you fired either. That's why I said there's a small percentage of people that generally cannot turn their camera on. But the vast majority can. But they won't. Little wins like that. For example, one of the things that I heard somebody was talking about a book of I heard I don't know if he was a Marine or some kind of sergeant, right, in the military. And he says, the first thing I teach my kids in the morning is to do your bed. You start off your day, and I think I've heard Zachary talk about this. You start off your day and you're winning the day. You did something productive to start off your day, you did the bed. Wake up early, you do the bed. That's one thing that my son knows. He wakes up early, he does his bed, and he does 30 kicks and he brushes his teeth. If he does that without me reminding him, he earns $8. But he's got to do it without me reminding him. Do his bed, do 30 kicks on each side, so 60 total, and brush his teeth without me reminding him. There you go. Make your bed. That's the one. Exactly. Zachary's talking about it, right? But that's my point, guys. It's not that hard. So you want to make sure that those of you guys that are going to convention, and even if you're not going to convention, which again, I highly figure it out. Figure it out. All of you guys got a text. All of us got a text. And they're taking votes, and some of the leaders were told this to mention to our teams. That's why I'm mentioning it to you guys. All of us got a text asking to rate leaders on certain subjects, right? On leadership, on contribution, on who embodies a power spirit, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. All of you guys got a text from Powur. If you guys could go and if you guys could fill out that survey, that would be helpful, and the company needs that, right? So make sure that you guys go and you guys fill out that survey. It was sent out last week. I don't know what day. If anybody knows what day that text was sent out, please put it in the chat. But make sure you guys fill that out. For those of you guys that are going to the convention, know this. There's a convention tickets and there's a gala tickets. The gala tickets are for the dinner on Friday night. That is like a gala event. Like, people are going to be there in 3-piece suits and tuxedos, right? Beautiful dinner, award ceremony. It's going to be phenomenal. So I'm going to be there. My wife and I are going to be there front and center. It's going to be a great time. But in that particular event is where they recognize for these things that they're taking votes for. So you guys want to make sure, contribute. This is a synergy that we were talking about, right? And again, they told some of us leaders to address to our team. I figured, hey, what better day than on Monday when I do this training to address the team. So ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to be working even though I'm out here. I didn't plan on staying here till Friday, but I am. But I'm going to be working. I'm going to be closing deals. I'm going to be looking at my text messages, on my emails. Jessica's back. For those of you guys that know, she was out for 2 weeks on vacation. Now she's back, and I went on vacation for almost 2 weeks. But Jessica's available for those of you guys that work with Jessica. And with that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go have breakfast, and I'm going to get in that beach, and we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Have a good day, guys.